What is up, everybody? I'm NoLucksGiven, and in this video we are actually going to take a look at a pair of APOC games. And both games are pretty similar. I wind up buying 3 XP in each of them and then transitioning into trees once I get that APOC hero power activated. But there are enough differences in the games and enough interesting stuff going on in both games that I thought it would be fun to look at. So basically, I'm going to look at the first half of this game and then just switch to the second game, because once we become APOC, we get a really good start in this one. And that's why I think APOC is so good right now and why I'm able to buy so much AP on Apocalypse. But we'll get back to that in a second, because this early game is really weird. We wind up rolling into a triple of Sherwood Sure Shot, so going to buy and sell the tiny and then lock this third Sure Shot from here. And I might not be purchasing it next turn. I might purchase some other units and then lock the Sure Shot again, just so that way we can continue to play 4 units into next turn. But of course, we'll see what we roll into. And we are going to be able to trade these combats because of the ranged of Sherwood Sure Shot. That is always nice. And we roll into Cindy in the empty space in the shop. So I do kind of want to pick that up along with the free roll. So I am going to pick up the Sherwood Sure Shot here. A few options for treasures, really. Jack's Jumping Beans would make us stronger. Hermes' Boots would make it so that the Sherwood Sure Shot is attacking first. And then could also just take the Ring of Regeneration and get some extra health. I free roll into Double Crafty plus another Sherwood Sure Shot, but importantly, a Sugar and Spice is really good there, because that's going to let me cast another spell for Cindy, and that's going to mean that Cindy is halfway completed. And I don't typically pursue treasures this heavily on APOC, but we've got an interesting opportunity here, because those treasures, if we get another treasure, that will make these crafties into 6/6s. Now, unfortunately, we are going to lose and take some damage against Merlin. They just had an absolutely massive Sherwood Sure Shot against us, but we'll pick up these crafties. We will then cast the Sugar and Spice, and we are looking honestly not that bad. We've got a pretty decent board for only 4 units. Our opponents could have level 5 units. They could also have an upgraded Humpty Dumpty as we play against the Fates. And this Fates is going to be the other star of this video, because they are not going to get that egg cracked, and they are going to be a scary opponent for the rest of the game. I'm going to jump ahead here. We're going to be locking this XP spell, picking up Vampire and Prized Pig. If we can get the Prized Pig gold, then we will be in a spot where we can very easily buy that Wish Upon a Star and potentially even win the next combat too. Unfortunately, we're going to fall a little bit short of that. Really just barely. I think if that Polywoggle hit into the... so if the Polywoggle hits into Prized Pig... No, we still lose that one, I think, regardless, but maybe we would have just taken a little bit less damage. We did a 1 in 3 chance to win there, so maybe that was possible. And I really, really like the XP here. I just love grabbing XP on Apocalypse, because it's so good once you hit level 6. You can so easily transition into trees. Trying to fast forward through some of the shops and stuff though still, because we are going to try to get to 2 videos in this game. So, or in this 2 games in this video rather. So we'll pick up the Wish Upon a Star, and it's a little bit greedy. We're not really that strong still, but I think that APOC can kind of get away with it right now, and that is the thesis of this video. We will be losing every combat though, and we will not be getting this Prized Pig gold ever. Hopefully I cut this Prized Pig sometime soon. We did go down to exactly 20, so that's actually pretty nice. That means we can pick up this Gingerbread Knight. We can also pick up a tier 2 treasure right now from Cindy. None of these are particularly exciting. Fountain of Youth we can't even make use of, but I'll just grab a Dark Contract. Can kind of work with Burning Tree in the late game, but that is mostly just to turn these crafties into 6/6s. That is the whole goal with that one. And that's going to mean now that we have another treasure, and we will lock onto this parfait here, this Turkish Delight, to gain even some more XP, and we'll throw in the Gingerbread Knight, do a little bit of reordering here. Opponent with Romeo and Juliet, so we are going to continue to lose. Like I said, might want to cut that prized pig at some point, but... Oh, actually, wait, no, we gotta win this one. Okay, oh, the Juliet, right. Is the Juliet by itself just going to destroy us? Wow, okay. I knew that I lost that one. That was a little bit of a spoiler, but we were 70% to win that one, so that one was just a little bit unfortunate, but what is kind of relevant, and then I guess we're up against the Ghost here, so we're probably not gonna lose this one either, but what is relevant is even though I am losing my fights, I'm not losing them by that much. And you can afford to lose some of your fights here. We're just going to wind up rolling down. I'll jump ahead and we'll skip through some of this combat against the Ghost. This one is pretty straightforward. They weren't even playing that many units. And we will get some prized pig gold this turn. And that's pretty nice. This is the turn 5.1 that you want to lock onto XP as APOC. So you want to roll into it, lock it, and then cast it at the start of your next turn. However, if you can see up in the corner right here, we are playing up against that 40 health Fates. And this was a nervous moment for me. I'm like, okay, let's cut the prized pig. Let's cut that off. We need to get strong. Like I want to lock into XP, but I also do not want to die to this Fates. Let's cast some health as well, and then we do actually find another Turkish Delight, so that's great. And now I'm thinking, okay, this is the shop. This is what I'm working with. How can I get stronger for this turn? Do I want the Humpty Dumpty? I definitely want the Sporko, especially with the Dark Contract. That's going to be an 8/8. That is pretty great. And I'm thinking, do I want to sell 2 units just to pick up the Humpty Dumpty and replace Crafty with Humpty Dumpty? And I'm really considering it. I am going to decide against it. I don't think that it would wind up being that important, just +1/+1. Though, I mean, it's basically like a magic research at that point. 1 coin for +1/+1. Actually winds up being 2 coins because we wouldn't get to keep the Dumpty. But here it is. My opponent now is Sky Castle, and then they also have this upgraded Humpty Dumpty that is going to destroy us, but luckily it doesn't seem like they have too much in the way of princesses and princes, and they wind up hitting us for 11 down to 5. So we survive. That's fine. Now we're APOC. We're going to sell off our whole board and purchase this Turkish Delight, which is going to leave us with 15 gold and a board full of tier 6 units. We wind up getting 3 trees and half of the puzzle to Burning Tree, or 2/3 of the puzzle, I guess, to the Burning Tree comp. And that's why I said this game is pretty straightforward once I APOC. We also find the Burning Tree as well as that additional Echo Wood there, and then both of those things are also getting +5/+5 for the turn, and then, oh yeah, another Burning Tree. So you can imagine rest of the lobby on 5.0. We've got the full trees comp. This one's going to be pretty straightforward. But this is why I love APOC right now. You could have seen that combat. I mean, it was so quick. It doesn't matter. They're not getting through my front line here. My Robin Wood is also taking out their best unit in the Chupacabra. They got nothing after that. Oh yeah, and we Doom Breath them as well. So we will pick up a Flourish here and then another Burning Tree. This can get us Mimic Chest, or you can get a Staff of the Old Toad. Ambrosia, also a potential consideration there, but Staff of the Old Toad, when we're this ahead of the rest of the lobby, is just going to let us find these trees so much easier, and we're just going to continue to crush. I think, oh, my Doom Breath actually does get to activate on this one, okay. And yeah, we're still Robin Wooding their best units. This guy's on 5.1. This game isn't fair. It's not particularly close. We just got to slowly crush everybody down. We'll free roll into a, what is this thing called? Ashwood Elm. We found another Echo Wood as well, so we're really doing good. That's a lot thanks to the Staff of the Old Toad here. Hercules and Lancelot probably not going to get in it this game. We're probably just going to make treasures off combining trees. but you can see how this one's pretty straightforward. We still have a little bit of time to go because this Fates definitely has some health on it, but I mean, this battle's straightforward. You can see that one's over. We combine the Ashwood, get Spear of Achilles. That's not a crazy treasure. When did we get that Hermes boots, by the way? I kind of glossed over that. Well, doesn't really matter. I will pick up the Hercules, grab the tier 6 treasure, just because I only had 6 gold left. I felt like that was a good use of my gold spent this turn, and we're up against the 35 health of the Fates, which means their egg is cracked at this point. Somebody else did the hard work for us, which might mean that this Merlin is a toughie to play against, but we shall see. And it looks like they found one Prince Arthur, and were able to take out their godmother, which is also going to take out a huge amount of their power. But honestly, yeah, this is not looking too shabby. I wish that baby bear could have hit on the Hercules. That would have meant, oh, it does. Okay, nice. So now if one more thing hits the Hercules, which, spoiler alert, it does not, the Lancelot dodges the Hercules, but we almost had a tier 6 treasure in one turn. Regardless, really sweet game. We do have to decide if we want to pick up this Robin Hood here, and I think I like this Robin Hood, and I also kind of like this Medusa. So I think I might wind up ending the game by picking up the Medusa. Could have rolled the die there. Oh, okay. I don't grab this Medusa just yet, because we're up against the Ghost. I don't know how much longer this game is going to be necessarily, if the Fates and Merlin are going to take each other out, or what's going to happen. And then maybe here I sell Doom Breath for a Medusa. That seems like a reasonable use of gold. Yeah, let's cash that in. Okay, up against the Ghost, we can skip this combat. We activate the Hercules here, so we will be able to grab a tier 6 treasure. We could take Ivory Owl or Phoenix Feather, and at this point, I think we can cut the Staff of the Old Toad. Wand of Weirding, also good at this stage of the game. And then we also know that we're going to be picking up this Echo Wood. So that's pretty good. You have to pick up Singing Sword when you are playing trees, because that's just so good with Burning Tree. If you haven't already heard me talk about that in other videos, I'm going to talk about that in the second game of this video, so don't worry about that. So yeah, let's grab the Singing Sword, throw that in, and let's look at our game against Merlin, because that we have not played against them in a few seconds here. And we can see they do have some large Storm Kings, but we have some really large ranged units in the front, as well as huge trees and this Echo Wood in the back, just to shore things up. So this one is not going to be too scary either. And is this going to be a win? It is going to be exactly a win. So now we just have to take out this Fates, which I said was the final boss of the video, but now without their egg, they are not looking super strong. I don't think I wind up doing anything this turn other than casting a Beauty's Influence on the Ashwood Elm, which means now we can lock this Evil Twin to Evil Twin the Ashwood Elm. But this is pretty straightforward. From here, let's take a look at how our Medusas and Robin Hoods do. Kind of a mixture of a board here, playing some Scam and some trees, but that's going to be pretty good for us. My opponent also playing some Scam and some trees, so they've got a chance, but it is not going to be good enough. We are going to take them out here. Oh, I guess they get one more Cupid hit in, and then we'll be able to take out the Fates. So there you go. That is game number 1. Game 2 is going to start off pretty well for us with a Shrink Ray in the opening shop. That means we can either lock the shop, cast the Shrink Ray, and play 3 units next turn, or we can just buy the Crafty, next turn Shrink Ray, buy 1 unit, and then the following turn we'll be able to buy 3 units. And I like trying to preserve my health as much as possible when I'm playing Apocalypse, so that is the idea. And luckily, this Horde Dragon is also playing Crafty, and even more luckily, we roll a golden chicken into that empty spot in the shop, which means we can buy and sell the chicken and then purchase both of these support units. And look at that, now we're playing 3 units on turn 2 with absolutely no downside. We will be playing up against Pup, who lost their first combat to Peter Pants because they are at 36, or potentially they cast 2 Forbidden Fruits, but I think it is much more likely that they lost their first combat to Peter Pants there. And that is going to mean that you know, potentially we could still lose this one because Pup is so strong in the early game. Maybe they cast a Shrink Ray or something in the early turn, but looks like they just picked up a Cindy and lost their first combat. So this is all going pretty well for us here, that we are APOC and we are on 45 health. That's going to mean that we can play it a little bit riskier and freely purchase some XP. I am now going to use both of my supporting units as supporting units and going to see what else we can make out of this board. I don't know if I want to pick up Baby Dragon or the Bad Billy as my third non-supporting unit, but playing around with a few different things here, and ultimately, because we are on 2.2, I am going to get a little bit risky with it, and I'm going to put my Polywoggle in the third position, so that way it doesn't slay. This way something trades into the Polywoggle, and the Polywoggle doesn't have to slay itself. So that's the plan, and looks like this is going to be a pretty close one, but we are actually going to walk away from this one with a win and +2 gold from my opponent's prized pig. So everything worked out pretty fabulously there, and with +2 gold, I think we just found something perfect to spend it on. So there are a few different options here. There is an option where we buy the golden chicken or the fanny plus the Turkish Delight. I think that's probably the most straightforward option. We could also purchase 2 3-cost units and lock the shop, and then next turn we'll have 6 gold. We could purchase, you know, the golden chicken or the fanny plus the Turkish Delight, or potentially look at what other things roll into the shop. I think we are in an okay enough spot that, yes, we will probably take some damage, but we can get away with picking up this Turkish Delight here. One other play that we could potentially consider making here that I was eyeing up for a second is, what if we buy the Turkish Delight and then sell the Crafty and buy the Donkey? That would mean that we probably win the combat this turn. So it's definitely worth considering, though against this Minotaur I'm not sure there's anything we could have done. I think we were just losing this combat. So all things considered, it's fine. We take 9 damage, but we're up in XP and we're APOC. I'm kind of trading my health for more XP. Unfortunately, we didn't get the Polywoggle Slay. That part is a little bit awkward, but everything else is looking okay for us. I think I'll probably just cut the Polywoggle at this point, considering now we're on 3.2. It would have been great if we had hit the Polywoggle and then we could have like polymorphed it or something, though. Polywoggle's not my chief concern when I'm playing APOC, it's just a means to stay alive. We try to use the Polywoggle to get a strong board, so that way we can use some things like Wish Upon a Star to get ahead in other instances. I am going to cast this Polywoggle, or Mix-a-Wizzle rather, on the Baby Root, because I am pretty sure I'm just going to be picking up Fanny here, and maybe the Baby Root is then a unit that we can play on the board. And this looks fine. The Brave Princess on 3.2 is a little bit awkward, but it's actually 3.1, so I feel like it does still have decent options to be able to slay here. Trying to talk as fast as I can and get through both of the games in this video. Baby Dragon going to be able to take out a ranged unit my opponent's Polywoggle slays, and then the Mummy is going to be able to do some nice stuff for us, and Brave Princess will clean up my opponent's last real unit. Fanny will be able to clean up the Mad Mims in the back. So pretty good stuff. We walk away from that combat with a Brave Princess slay plus a win, still at 36 health, and that is really quite good for us. Now, this is a move I won't often make. Masquerade Ball on Apocalypse. However, you looked at that shop, you looked at our econ, we had 7 gold for a Mask Ball and a look at 3 different 5-drops. That's just going to be too good for me to pass up. So I think that that was a pretty clear maneuver in that instance. I'm going to pick up a Baba Yaga, which is going to potentially allow us to double slay with this Brave Princess. And then I'm going to be locking onto the Burning Tree and Siren in the shop. These are just strong units, and the goal is to play a little bit of strong units, so that way when we find XP, we can also greed out on that. So kind of doing a mix between both of those moves. Brave Princess is going to get the Slay. I think that's more on the greedy side of things, playing the Brave Princess and the Polywoggle. But that's kind of the point, is like, let's get ahead this turn, and then next turn, let's just buy some big units, and then we'll see what else we can do. We are going to take a little bit of damage on this one, taking 9 damage again, but honestly, I think that's fine for this tier 3 treasure. And Merlin's Hat is a treasure that I really like on Apocalypse because you're generally trying to cast XP and roll into XP, so now we can find it a little bit easier because it's going to be a little bit cheaper. From here, I think I will want to put in this Burning Tree potentially, or the Siren. If I remember correctly, I don't purchase the Siren on this game. I go for the Greedy because I've got the double fannies here. Okay, well that is certainly a little bit greedy. I think the Siren probably would have been a safer choice, but I guess I'm feeling strong enough with this upgraded Brave Princess and the Burning Tree and the Greedy, which is double supported, plus this Toil and Trouble giving us a little bit of stats. I'm feeling like I'm strong enough that I can try to get some econ to help me pursue some other endeavors here. And does look like I'm going to consider cutting the Polywoggle just to play the Crafty, just to get a little bit more stats. The Polywoggle, you don't really need it on APOC, and again, I'm greeding in other areas. I don't need to greed in this one as well. And it does work out pretty well for us. We've got the Greedy getting the Ring of Meteors, so we are going to walk away from this combat with 2 extra gold, not too shabby, though my opponent is playing Juliet plus double Romeo, so we are definitely going to be losing this one, as I'm not going to be able to get through those Juliets in the back line. So we'll take a decent amount of damage from this one, taking 12 damage down to 15. But, you know, we're not that weak, plus we've got some additional econ as well. I do want to get a little bit stronger right now, as well as finding some XP. And I actually really struggle to find XP this game. I will pick up this Fanny here, which is good. We can consolidate our board and basically just play an additional unit. And I'm just going to skip. I don't care about any of these treasures. Maybe we can use this extra gold to roll for XP. Maybe we can use it to find some more good units to play. Either way, I'll throw this Potion of Heroism on the Burning Tree for a free +2/+2. And I really do consider that True Love's Kiss there for a second as well, either on the Baba Yaga or the Burning Tree. I'd be feeling a lot more comfortable and confident right now if we had picked up the Siren a little bit ago. But unfortunately that is not the case, and I don't really wind up finding anything super great. Maybe that's a result of us being on 4.2 and not 5.0 this turn, but could definitely be taking a little bit of damage. And we're up against the Fates again, so of course that is quite scary. Fates is always a pretty good hero, and they get us pretty nicely with that Fireball, but we also get them somewhat nicely with our Earthquake because we take out their Sherwood Sure Shot. So some pretty good trades there. Does look like my opponent is going to be walking away from this one with a win, but this is a really close combat actually, and Brave Princess being able to kill and stay means that we wind up getting a tie. Brave Princess just having that 1 extra health point there was super clutch. I do see that we've got a what did we have? A Falling Stars, which was certainly tempting in terms of getting more greedy gold, but basically this is the last turn that I can cast an XP spell if I want to cast another XP spell. Wish Upon a Star, a little bit awkward because that does mean that if we win this combat, then we're in an awkward spot. So this is weird to say, but I really don't mind losing this combat as long as we don't lose it by too much. And we're in a very, very similar spot to the previous game that we looked at, which is why I said that This game is looking so familiar. I cycled to the chicken because, like, okay, maybe we'll triple the chicken, get a treasure or something next turn. Just want to keep our options open. It's just better to have a chicken than two random units. But if we win this combat, we'll immediately be level 6, which is totally fine. It's like a free XP, and then we'll have 12 gold to roll, and our board will be destroyed, and maybe we can find another tree or something. If we lose this combat, then we have to roll for XP and then sell our board. Depending on when we find that XP, it could wind up being better for us, or we might just wind up in an awkward spot where we've got to play this board for another turn. My opponent's Earthquake is going to take out my baby dragon, but we do get a bunch more greedy gold, so the greedy pickup has definitely paid for itself at this point. But it does look like we're going to be losing this one, though my opponent's entire backline is not upgraded. So once again, we are looking at an APOC game where I'm at 15 health the turn before I level up and wind up just barely surviving. This time with 8 health. Last game I think it was with 5 or 4, something like that. I will get the golden chicken. I consider, like, okay, spinning wheel is good if I don't hit the XP this turn, but if I skip, I'm just so much more likely to hit the XP this turn. So I just go for a full roll down, and I don't think that I can really make my board too much better. I could purchase like a Tweedle or something like that, but I wind up just fully rolling down, selling the golden chicken, continuing to roll, and then eventually finding a lucky coin, and then eventually one more, give me one more, finding some XP. So this was the last possible moment that I could have found it. I will wind up selling my whole board and purchasing this Turkish Delight. So I'm not as ahead as I was in the previous game. I'm just going to go ahead and pick up this, what is this thing called? Heartwood Elder. Because it plays on the remaining, or it plays on the board, it's going to pump up the Robin Wood, but I don't think I want to lock, oh no, I do wind up locking this Heartwood Elder too. Okay, yeah, that's fine. We're kind of in a weird comp right now. I am playing this Good Boy, and what is really nice about this Good Boy is it gets pumped from Robin Wood. So that is going to give a considerable amount of stats to Echo Wood, and then also Jormungand is going to give some stats to Echo Wood. But you can see this isn't that strong of a comp. We are stronger than the strongest player in the lobby, so it's hard to say that it's not like super strong, but definitely doesn't seem as powerful as last game, not as straightforward, and that's why we're going to watch like the whole rest of this thing. This game is a lot of fun in terms of just how this combat winds up finishing out, and I think there's also just a lot of interesting things going on in this game. One thing that is really, really important to note, it is kind of awkward. We wind up seeing like additional Storm Kings, can't really do anything with that, but we do wind up seeing additional Jormungands and things, but I'm pretty sure I want to play trees. That's why I'm picking up the Heartwood Elders as well. We don't have too much in the way for it though, which is atypical of a typical APOC game. We really only got the 2 trees, the Robin Wood and the Echo Wood. We didn't get any Ashwoods or Green Knights or anything like that that really easily push you into trees. But I think that we're going to have the time to figure all of this out. Basically, the key thing here going on that is really important is when I was playing the Echo Wood last turn, is the Echo Woods are going to buff the Heartwood Elders are going to buff the Echo Wood and make it so that the Good Boy is our unit with the lowest attack, which means the Good Boy is getting that Robin Wood bonus, which is pretty important. That's giving everything else an additional 10 attack at that point, and that's really helping us to win this combat. We are going to get our Hercules treasure here, so that's really nice, and then Jormungand is going to be able to carry it for us. This was a super, super close battle. I don't want to understate that, and we walk away with 2 prized pig bounties. We can take a look in the top corner at what our win percentage was. Okay, 60% to win, not too bad. But the great thing is we get to pick up a singing sword. That is really, really fantastic, and that is going to mean that we definitely want to be playing trees at this point. So just rolling for trees, basically, as straightforward as that is. I don't even really want to pick up Green Knight. I really want to find Ashwood and try to make something happen with that. And I believe that the next tree that we find is actually another Heartwood Elder after these Jormungand's. We just see so many Jormungand's. Okay, no, we're going to pivot to this for a second. Okay, I wasn't sure if the Heartwood Elder happened first or the Good Boy happened first, but we have not found any trees, and we need to be stronger on the current board. So what I'm looking at here is the Lancelot is really good with the Good Boy. We can sell 2 things, and then we can put in this Lancelot, and that'll be able to get us a tier 5 treasure. And I probably want to do that next turn, actually. I wasn't sure. I was kind of going back and forth. I couldn't remember if I purchased the Good Boy or the Lancelot first. But basically, now we are going to be able to just cut this burning tree, and we'll play a board of all good units for a moment. So these Good Boys are going to get plus 10 attack from the Robin Wood, and then they throw that onto each other. And they're not that huge, but together that's going to make us some pretty large attack units, which is just going to make sure that we can tie these combats. That's the whole goal right now. Let's just tie as many combats as we can. Next turn, I'm going to try to tie a combat once more while also farming a treasure off of Lancelot. So that is kind of the whole plan. And we do actually need to play some trees. I think I was kind of getting to this point and then got distracted, but I need to play some trees so that way the Heartwood Elders buff something, which buffs the Echo Wood, which makes it so that the Good Boy gets the Robin Wood bonus. I'm going to go for Spinning Gold up against the Ghost. I think that that is totally fine, and we should be able to get this Lancelot if everything goes fine here. As long as the Lancelot doesn't get attacked into first, we will get the treasure from it. I do kind of want to put Lancelot in the back because of that. Maybe I will switch the Lancelot with the Echo Wood at some point before this combat starts. I think I just don't realize that, or don't think of that exact line just yet, that the Echo Wood is indeed also a tree, but the Lancelot is getting doubled attack by being in the front row. Oh, okay, I do switch it. Okay, great. It's getting doubled attack by being in the front row, but it doesn't matter, because as long as both of these Good Boys die now, as long as like we don't face up against Lightning Dragon or Doom Breath, for instance, the Lancelot is going to be able to get a bunch of attack. We just need one Good Boy to die, and the Lancelot is going to be able to give us a tier 5 treasure. So that's pretty good. There's a lot that you can do with tier 5 treasures. Getting decently lucky RNG in this combat as well, just to speak on that. And we wind up tying up against the Ghost, so we don't even get the Spinning Gold, but we do get the tier 5 treasure, and there's a lot of good ones, and Mimic Chest is really, really good. So now everything in the front row is going to have double the double attack, which is gonna work out really well, and now we're able to capitalize it and find the Ashwood Elm. And then we find some burning trees and Ashwood Elms. It took them long enough, but they did wind up showing up here eventually. So now we can get out of this Good Boy shenanigans and these Hercules. We'll have to figure out, what do we want to sell this turn? Do we want to sell our upgraded Royals, or do we just want to sell both of our Good Boys, and then we'll lock onto the Heartwood Elder for the next turn? I think my camera overheated, so might be... Oh, no, I got it back. Okay, great. We got the camera back for the end of the video. Sometimes when I'm recording a few videos at once, the camera will go out, but we are here now. We have definitely made some really nice stuff happen with these trees, and we've got another burning tree for next turn, so we should not be in too much of a problem at this point. I think we'll be able to take out this King Midas, and then potentially the Peter Pan or the Sharon will take each other out, and next turn might already be the finals, though we'll see. We'll see how close we can get to that. What's really interesting about this game too is all of our trees are unupgraded. Peter Pants doesn't quite take out the Sharon, but we know that we just played up against that Peter Pants. We got all of that prized pig gold from them, so I'm not feeling too concerned about playing up against them either. But yeah, what's really silly is on this board, none of our units are upgraded. Now we are going to get the upgrade on the Heartwood Elder, and I'm looking at this Peter Pants, I'm saying, you know what? They have 24 health. I think this game's going to go on for a second. So what I'm going to do is I am going to... Oh, okay. I thought I sold my whole board and picked up this Heartwood Elder and played a unit down. I guess I don't play a unit down in this game. I am, or at least for this brawl, I am getting that a little bit confused. I do the opposite. I actually put the Robin Wood back in because I am afraid that this Peter Pants might be super strong. So there we go. Just a little bit of misremembering there when I'm... playing so many similar games back to back and all that stuff. We will get a little bit more prized pig gold from my opponent, and then we will deal a little bit of damage to them as well. Only a little bit, 10 damage down to 16, but we also got a little bit of extra gold for our troubles. I'll pick up this Heartwood Elder. That's going to give us a little bit more scaling. Something like Forking Rod could be cute because it's doubled with the Mimic Chest. I'm not super interested in these treasures, though Mimic Chest plus Gloves of Thieving when this Peter Pants has those Ashwood Elms is also really tempting. If we could steal those Ashwood Elms from the Peter Pants, that would just be really sweet. So I'll pick up the Gloves of Thieving and then roll a little bit, though kind of wish that we had that Forking Rod when I cast this Stone Skin. That would have given us a ton of stats on the Ashwood Elm. I'll just wind up rolling down for the rest of this one. No need to pick up a Green Knight. I'm really just looking for Burning Trees, Echo Woods, Ashwood Elms. Y'all know the deal by now. Could lock onto this Dream spell, but that only gives me then 4 rolls to try to find another tree. I'd rather just have like 6, 7 rolls, including being able to sell the units on my bench to find the other trees. So that is kind of the idea here. Donagor knows that the writing is on the wall when he sees my super large trees, and we can talk about now why Singing Sword is so good in this comp. I promised that during the first half of the video. But basically, Ashwood Elm is giving its entire health to the Burning Trees, and you get to double that if you have a Singing Swords. Or if you have a Mimic Chest Singing Swords, you get to triple that. It's actually triple. It's not double. But we will get to triple that, and it's not only giving its health to their attack, it's also giving its health to their health. Because any health or any attack that Burning Tree gets, it also gets as a health bonus. So Echo Wood is then getting triple the health of all of these Ashwood Elms. And while I don't want to purchase a Green Knight, I'm not going to turn one down either. And I wind up True Love's Kissing into a Green Knight, and that is a bunch of stats on the Ashwood Elm. It's also an upgraded unit, which means we get to hit this Peter Pants for a little bit more damage. I kind of want to put the Robin Wood in there because that would be a lot of stats. But I think we're going to play down a unit now. Oh, actually, wait, we don't even have to. We can just sell our full bench plus this Heartwood Elder. That seems great to me. So we are now done with scaling. Unfortunately, we're done with the Robin Wood, which is a little bit awkward, but we're going to have now 2 huge Echo Woods. So both of these Ashwood Elms are going to give a total of plus 100 attack to each of these Burning Trees. That will mean plus 300 attack and plus 300 health. So then each of these Echo Woods will get plus 600 because they get the bonus from each of the Burning Trees. So let's see if that math was right. Are we looking at 300 trees and then 600 trees in the back? Yes, with insane attack because the attack even just goes nuttier than that. But that is really, really strong. I would have loved to have stolen my opponent's Echo Wood or Ashwood Elm. We're not going to be quite that lucky, but we are going to walk away with a win, hitting my opponent for 12 damage, and we just stole a pair of doublies. It would have been absolutely fantastic, though, had we been able to steal something that really mattered there. I'll just roll past these Robin Woods, not really looking for that, just looking for one of these other trees to make a treasure. But even if we don't get it, 100% chance to win. My opponent's also playing Peter Pants, so They don't really have too much in the way of scam. They'd have to true love's kiss into a Cupid to really have a shot, and that is just going to be way too random. So I think we've got this one in the bag. The trees were able to come together, and in a pretty interesting way, with Apocalypse using Good Boy to grab those treasures from Hercules and Lancelot. But when we were 3 XP up on the rest of the lobby, we had the time to do so. So it all worked out in the end. And here is our final combat. Are we going to get to steal a big tree? No, we wind up stealing a pair of Wizards Familiars, though pretty large Wizards Familiars. If I was my opponent, I definitely backline. Well, it doesn't matter. You just have to win, right? Yeah, so, and they didn't really have a shot. So that is it. That is the end of both of these games and the end of the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. This was originally only going to be a 1 video game, but I wound up playing this additional APOC game yesterday that felt so similar, and I felt like it would work well as some cohesive content. So that is going to be it for today's video. Let me know down below if you enjoyed, and yeah, bye. I'm NoLucksGiven. Peace.